Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Your mind is your fortress. Your thoughts, your dreams, your ambitions, they belong to you. But there are forces out there, people who thrive on tearing you down, feeding off your energy, twisting your reality until you forget who you are. These are the narcissists. And tonight, I'm going to teach you how to starve them, how to erase them from your life, and how to reclaim your mind. The parasitic mind is not just a concept. It's a reality that many people live with without even realizing it. Narcissists are not just toxic people. They are psychological parasites that infiltrate your thoughts, emotions, and decision-making. They thrive on manipulation, deception, and control, feeding off the energy and confidence of those around them. The danger isn't just in their presence. It's in their ability to make you doubt your own reality, to twist your perception of yourself, and to keep you trapped in a cycle of emotional and mental dependency. When a narcissist enters your life, they don't come as an obvious enemy. They come as a friend, a lover, a mentor, someone who initially makes you feel special, understood, or even admired. They charm you, flatter you, and make you believe they see something in you that others don't. It feels good at first, but this is the bait, the hook that draws you into their world of control. Little by little, they start to shift the dynamics. They begin to criticize you, subtly at first, making small remarks about your flaws or questioning your abilities. They make you feel guilty for things that aren't your fault, rewriting history so that you always seem to be in the wrong. They gaslight you, twisting your words, making you question your memory, and convincing you that you are overly sensitive, irrational, or even ungrateful. A parasitic mind works by infiltrating your confidence. It weakens your ability to think independently by making you rely on the narcissist for validation. The more you listen to them, the more you begin to lose trust in yourself. You start to second-guess your decisions. You hesitate to speak up. You walk on eggshells, afraid that anything you say or do might trigger their anger or disappointment. Over time, this self-doubt becomes a pattern. The strong, confident person you once were starts to fade, replaced by someone who feels trapped, confused, and exhausted. The manipulation goes even deeper. Narcissists have a way of isolating you without you even realizing it. They make you pull away from friends and family, subtly suggesting that these people don't truly understand you or support you the way they do. They position themselves as the only person who truly gets you, reinforcing the idea that you need them. And once you are isolated, once your support system is weakened, they tighten their grip. They make you feel dependent on their approval, their love, and their presence. You start to believe that without them you are lost. But here's the truth. You are not lost. You are not weak. The only reason their influence is so powerful is that they have spent time conditioning you to believe that you need them. The mind, when controlled by a narcissist, becomes a battlefield. It's a place where truth is twisted, where guilt replaces self-assurance, and where fear keeps you from breaking. But the moment you recognize the game, the moment you realize that you are being manipulated, is the moment you take back your power. Understanding the parasitic nature of narcissists is the first step toward freedom. They do not care for your well-being. They do not love you in the way you deserve to be loved. They love control. They love power. And they will do whatever it takes to maintain that power, even if it means destroying your sense of self in the process. They thrive on your insecurity because it makes them feel stronger. But their strength is an illusion. It only exists because you have been giving them the fuel to survive. The key to reclaiming your mind is awareness. You must become conscious of the ways in which you have been manipulated. You must identify the thoughts that are not truly your own, the ones planted by the narcissist to keep you small, to keep you doubting, to keep you under their control. Ask yourself, when did I start believing I wasn't good enough? When did I start questioning my own judgment? Who made me feel like I had to constantly prove my worth? The answers to these questions will lead you to the source of the infection. Once you recognize the parasite, the next step is to begin the process of removing it. This means setting boundaries, clear, firm, and unwavering. It means refusing to engage in their games, refusing to justify yourself, refusing to allow their words to dictate your emotions. It means stepping back, detaching, and seeing them for what they truly are, a parasite that needs your energy to survive. And the most powerful thing you can do? Starve them. Narcissists need reactions. They need drama. They need your energy. When you stop feeding them, when you stop engaging, stop explaining, stop seeking their approval, they begin to lose their grip. They panic. They try harder to pull you back in, using guilt, love bombing, anger, or even threats. But if you stay strong, if you hold the line, they will fade. Their power was never real. It was always an illusion, built on the energy you gave them. And once you cut off the supply, they shrink back into the shadows where they belong. Your mind is your own, your thoughts, your emotions, your choices. These belong to you. No one has the right to infiltrate your mind and rewrite your reality. The moment you recognize the parasite, the moment you decide to take back control, is the moment you reclaim your life. You are stronger than their manipulation. You are wiser than their deception. And you are powerful enough to break free. Narcissists operate like master illusionists, weaving a web of deception so intricate that by the time you recognize what's happening, you've already been entangled. They don't need physical chains to control you. They use psychological tactics to make you willingly submit to their influence. Understanding how they operate is the first step in breaking free, and to do that, you need to recognize their tactics. A narcissist's greatest weapon is manipulation. They know how to twist reality to suit their needs, turning situations against you while making themselves look like the victim. It begins with small, seemingly harmless remarks. They might criticize you in a way that seems like a joke, but when you react, they accuse you of being too sensitive. They slowly chip away at your self-esteem by pointing out your flaws, always making you feel like you are not good enough. Over time, you begin to internalize these criticisms, believing that you are the problem. This is their goal, to break you down so they can maintain control. Gaslighting is another powerful tool in their arsenal. They will make you question your own memory, perception, and even sanity. You might recall a conversation where they insulted you, but they will adamantly deny it, making you doubt yourself. They will rewrite history, telling you that things happen differently than you remember. If you confront them with facts, they will dismiss them, saying you are overreacting or misinterpreting. Over time, you begin to lose trust in your own mind, relying on them to define reality for you. That's when they have you exactly where they want you, vulnerable and dependent. Another classic tactic narcissists use is emotional exploitation. They know how to play with your emotions, using guilt, fear, and even love to keep you in their grasp. They might act like the perfect partner or friend one day, showering you with compliments and affection, only to turn cold and distant the next. This creates a cycle of emotional highs and lows, leaving you constantly seeking their approval and wondering what you did wrong. It's a psychological roller coaster that keeps you addicted, always hoping to return to the moments when they made you feel special. But those moments are carefully orchestrated to keep you hooked. They are not real. Narcissists also use triangulation to maintain control. They bring a third party into the dynamic, whether it's another friend, a family member, or even a romantic interest, to create tension and competition. They compare you to others, making you feel inadequate or replaceable. They might say things like, "Why can't you be more like them?" or "So-and-so understands me better." This tactic is designed to make you fight for their approval, to keep you constantly striving to prove your worth. The truth is, no matter how much you try, you will never be good enough in their eyes because they don't want you to be. Your insecurity is their power. Projection is another manipulative strategy they use. Rather than taking responsibility for their own flaws, they project them onto you. If they are lying, they accuse you of dishonesty. If they are being unfaithful, they accuse you of infidelity. If they are manipulative, they claim you are the one trying to control them. This deflection serves two purposes. It shifts blame away from them and puts you on the defense. Instead of addressing their behavior, you find yourself constantly explaining and justifying your own actions. This is how they keep you distracted, always focused on proving your innocence rather than recognizing their toxic behavior. Narcissists also thrive on playing the victim. They will twist any situation to make it seem like they are the ones who have been wronged. If you confront them about their behavior, they will turn the tables, accusing you of being unfair, cruel, or even abusive. They will exaggerate their pain, making you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. They might even cry or act hurt, using your empathy against you. This is how they keep you in a cycle of guilt and obligation, making you feel like you owe them something when in reality, they are the ones who have been mistreating you. Silent treatment is another form of psychological warfare narcissists use. If you upset them or refuse to comply with their demands, they will withdraw all communication and affection, leaving you in a state of confusion and anxiety. This is a punishment designed to make you feel abandoned and desperate to get back in their good graces. They want you to beg, to apologize, to prove your loyalty, but the moment you do, they know they have complete control over you. The only way to break free from this tactic is to refuse to play their game. The more you chase their validation, the more power you give them. A key trait of narcissists is their ability to create a false image. They present themselves as kind, generous, and successful to the outside world, making it difficult for others to see their true nature. This is why victims often struggle to get support from friends and family. When you try to explain their behavior, people may not believe you because the narcissist has already crafted a perfect public persona. This isolation manipulation further strengthens their hold over you, making you feel like you have nowhere to turn. But the truth will always reveal itself in time. The mask will slip, and those who pay attention will see the reality behind their illusion. Recognizing these tactics is the first step in breaking free. The moment you see the pattern, the moment you understand that their behavior is intentional and calculated, you take away their power. They rely on your confusion, your self-doubt, your fear. But once you see the game, you can choose not to play. You can refuse to be manipulated. You can take back control of your mind, your emotions, and your life. The key to overcoming a narcissist's influence is knowledge. When you understand their tactics, you stop taking their behavior personally. You stop blaming yourself. You realize that their actions are not a reflection of your worth, but of their own insecurities and need for control. And once you see them for what they truly are, they can no longer manipulate you. You reclaim your power, your confidence, and your freedom, and that is the beginning of true liberation. A strong mind is the greatest defense against manipulation, toxicity, and emotional predators. It is a fortress that, when fortified correctly, cannot be breached by narcissists or anyone who seeks to control and undermine you. The problem is that many people go through life unaware of just how vulnerable their minds are to influence. Society, relationships, past traumas, and personal insecurities all contribute to a weakened mental state, making it easier for narcissists to exploit and manipulate. But the good news is that the mind is like a muscle. It can be trained, strengthened, and reinforced to withstand any form of psychological attack. The first step in fortifying the mind is developing deep self-awarenessness. Narcissists thrive on confusion, and they succeed when their victims do not fully understand themselves. They take advantage of self-doubt, unresolved trauma, and a lack of identity to mold you into what they need. The stronger your self-awareness, the harder it is for anyone to distort your reality. This means taking the time to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Ask yourself, what are my core values? What do I truly believe about myself, independent of what others say? Where do my insecurities stem from? By understanding yourself at a deeper level, you remove the blind spots that narcissists use against you. Emotional intelligence is another crucial pillar of mental fortification. This involves not just recognizing your own emotions, but also managing them effectively. Narcissists manipulate through emotional highs and lows, using anger, guilt, shame, and even love as weapons. When you master your emotions, you stop reacting impulsively to their tactics. Instead of being drawn into their drama, you remain calm, detached, and in control. This ability to regulate emotions allows you to think critically, respond wisely, and make decisions that serve your well-being rather than playing into their hands. Emotional intelligence also involves recognizing when someone is deliberately trying to trigger a reaction from you. Instead of taking the bait, you maintain your power by refusing to engage. One of the strongest defenses against manipulation is setting clear and unshakable boundaries. A weak mind allows others to overstep, manipulate, and take advantage of kindness. A strong mind understands that saying no is not an act of cruelty, but of self-respect. Boundaries must be firm, non-negotiable, and enforced consistently. It is not enough to set boundaries. You must also be willing to uphold them, even in the face of pressure, guilt-tripping, or intimidation. Narcissists despise boundaries because they limit their control. The moment you stand firm, they lose their grip. It is essential to recognize that people who respect you will honor your boundaries, while those who resist them are only interested in what they can take from you. Critical thinking is another powerful weapon against psychological parasites. A fortified mind does not accept everything at face value. It questions, analyzes, and seeks the truth. Narcissists rely on blind trust and emotional reasoning to manipulate their victims. They create illusions, tell half-truths, and distort facts to serve their agenda. A critical thinker does not fall for these tactics because they rely on logic, evidence, and independent thought rather than emotions or persuasion. Strengthening this skill involves developing a habit of questioning narratives, seeking multiple perspectives, and being aware of cognitive biases that may cloud judgment. It is about trusting facts over feelings and reality over perception. Mental resilience is also vital in fortifying the mind. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. Narcissists exploit emotional vulnerability, knowing that people are more susceptible to manipulation when they are stressed, insecure, or struggling. A resilient mind, however, does not crumble under pressure. It adapts, learns, and grows stronger with every experience. Building resilience involves developing healthy coping mechanisms, maintaining a positive but realistic outlook, and refusing to see failure as a permanent defeat. Resilience also means not being dependent on external validation. When your self-worth comes from within, no amount of criticism, rejection, or manipulation can shake you. Another essential aspect of mental fortification is self-care. Many people associate self-care with relaxation or indulgence, but true self-care is about discipline, self-respect, and prioritizing your well-being. It means taking care of your body through exercise, sleep, and proper nutrition, because a healthy body supports a strong mind. It means protecting your peace by avoiding toxic people, limiting exposure to negativity, and surrounding yourself with those who uplift and empower you. It means making time for personal growth, whether through reading, learning new skills, or engaging in meaningful activities that build confidence and purpose. When you take care of yourself, you send a powerful message to both yourself and others that you are worthy of respect and that you refuse to be drained by those who seek to take advantage of you. Mindfulness and presence play a significant role in strengthening the mind against external influence. Narcissists thrive on keeping their victims trapped in a cycle of past regrets and future anxieties. They want you to dwell on past mistakes, reliving moments where they made you feel inadequate. They also want you to fear the future, making you believe that without them, you will be lost. But a strong mind lives in the present. It understands that the past cannot be changed and that worrying about the future robs the present of its power. Mindfulness allows you to focus on what is real, what is within your control, and what truly matters. It helps you detach from toxic narratives and anchor yourself in reality. Knowledge is another crucial tool for fortifying the mind. The more you educate yourself about human behavior, psychology, and manipulation tactics, the harder it is for anyone to deceive or control you. Understanding the patterns of narcissistic abuse, the dynamics of toxic relationships, and the strategies of psychological manipulation gives you the ability to recognize red flags before you become entangled. Knowledge removes the element of surprise. It empowers you to see through deception and to make informed, intentional choices. When you know better, you do better. Lastly, developing a strong support system is key to maintaining mental fortitude. No one is invincible, and even the strongest minds need encouragement, guidance, and reassurance. Narcissists work by isolating their victims, making them feel alone and dependent. But when you have a network of supportive, trustworthy people, it becomes much harder for anyone to manipulate you. Surrounding yourself with those who uplift, respect, and genuinely care for you reinforces your sense of self-worth and reminds you of what healthy, reciprocal relationships look like. True strength is not about facing everything alone. It is about knowing when to lean on others and allowing yourself to be supported. A fortified mind is not one that never experiences doubt, fear, or setbacks. It is a mind that, despite these challenges, refuses to be controlled. It is a mind that recognizes its own worth, stands firm in its values, and refuses to be swayed by manipulation. When you build mental strength, you become unshakable. You become someone who does not need validation from external sources, who does not fall for deceitful tactics, and who does not allow parasites to take up space in your life. You become someone who walks with confidence, clarity, and purpose, untouchable by those who seek to diminish you. Narcissists thrive on control, and their greatest fear is losing it. They manipulate, deceive, and break people down to maintain their sense of superiority. But the moment you establish independence, mentally, emotionally, financially, and physically, you cut off their power supply. Independence is not just about living on your own or making money. It's about self-sufficiency in every aspect of your life. It's about building an unshakable foundation that no one, not even the most cunning manipulator, can shake. When you cultivate true independence, narcissists become powerless against you. The first step in achieving this is emotional independence. Narcissists rely on emotional dependency to keep you attached. They create a cycle of highs and lows, moments of love followed by moments of rejection, to make you crave their approval. The more you seek validation from them, the more control they have. Breaking free starts with recognizing that your emotions are your own and that no one has the right to dictate how you feel. You do not need external approval to be worthy. You do not need their love, attention, or validation to define your self-worth. When you master your emotions, you strip them of their ability to manipulate you. They can try to provoke, guilt, guilt trip or punish you, but when you remain unbothered, their games fail. Mental independence is another crucial aspect of breaking free. Narcissists work by distorting reality, making you question your own thoughts and beliefs. They plant seeds of doubt, rewriting events, and gaslighting you into believing their version of the truth. The only way to counter this is to trust yourself. Strengthening your mind through critical thinking, knowledge, and self-awareness makes it impossible for them to deceive you. When you develop a strong personal philosophy, when you know who you are, what you believe in, and where you stand, no one can shake you. You stop being easily influenced and you start thinking for yourself. The more independent your mind becomes, the less susceptible you are to manipulation. Financial independence is one of the most powerful tools against narcissistic control. Many toxic individuals use financial dependency as a leash, keeping their victims tied to them. They might offer financial support only to use it as a weapon to demand obedience. They create a false sense of security, making you believe you cannot survive without them. But the truth is, financial freedom is possible, and it is one of the strongest forms of empowerment. Building financial independence means having your own income, managing your finances wisely, and creating a safety net so you are never at the mercy of someone else's control. It means learning skills that allow you to sustain yourself, investing in your growth, and making decisions based on your well-being rather than fear. When you no longer need them financially, their threats, manipulations, and guilt trips lose their impact. You become free to walk away without hesitation. Another key to breaking free is setting firm boundaries. Independence is not just about what you do, it's also about what you allow. A truly independent person does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or toxic behavior. Narcissists push boundaries to test their control. They ignore your no, violate your space, and expect you to accommodate their demands. When you start enforcing boundaries with unwavering confidence, you send a clear message. You are not someone who can be controlled. A boundary is only as strong as your willingness to uphold it. If you say you will not tolerate something, but then make excuses or let it slide, you weaken your independence. True freedom comes when you stand by your boundaries no matter what, even if it means losing people who refuse to respect them. Physical independence also plays a role in breaking free. This is not just about where you live, it's about having control over your environment and decisions. Some narcissists try to isolate their victims, making them feel trapped or unable to leave. They create an environment where you feel dependent on them for shelter, transportation, or basic needs. Gaining physical independence means having the ability to make your own choices about where you go, who you see, and what you do. It means not allowing anyone to dictate your movements or control your freedom. It might involve moving out, getting your own transportation, or simply reclaiming the right to make decisions for yourself without fear of retaliation. The stronger your physical independence, the harder it is for them to keep you under their control. Social independence is equally important. Narcissists manipulate by isolating their victims, cutting them off from support systems so they feel alone. They create conflicts between you and friends, plant doubts about family members, and make you feel like no one else understands you. The moment you reconnect with others, build strong friendships, and create a network of support, their control weakens. Surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting people reminds you of your worth and gives you the strength to resist manipulation. You begin to see the contrast between healthy relationships and toxic ones. You realize that love, respect, and kindness do not have to be conditional. You understand that there are people who genuinely care for you without needing to control you. The stronger your social independence, the harder it is for a narcissist to isolate you. Another vital aspect of breaking free is self-sufficiency in decision-making. Narcissists want you to doubt yourself so that you turn to them for guidance. They undermine your confidence, making you feel incapable of making the right choices. But true independence comes when you trust your own judgment. It means making decisions based on your own values, needs, and desires, rather than seeking approval from others. It means learning from mistakes without fear, knowing that each decision, right or wrong, helps you grow. The more you rely on yourself for answers, the less power anyone else has over your life. Breaking free also requires letting go of fear. Narcissists keep people trapped by instilling fear. Fear of failure, fear of being alone, fear of the unknown. They convince you that without them you will struggle. But independence is about facing those fears head on and proving to yourself that you are capable. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing challenges, and realizing that you do not need anyone else to define your happiness or success. Fear is the tool of control. Courage is the weapon of liberation. The moment you choose courage over fear, you break the chains that have held you back. The journey to independence is not always easy. It requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to grow. But every step towards self-sufficiency is a step away from their control. Every moment you stand firm in your worth, set boundaries, and refuse to be manipulated, you reclaim your power. Narcissists do not want independent people. They want dependents, puppets, and followers. The greatest way to defeat them is to become everything they fear: strong, self-reliant, and unshakable. The moment you achieve true independence, they lose all power over you, and that is when you are truly free. Healing from the damage inflicted by narcissists is not just about moving on. It's about rebuilding yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. It's about transforming your pain into power, your wounds into wisdom, and your suffering into strength. Many people, after enduring the toxicity of a narcissist, find themselves broken, questioning their self-worth, doubting their abilities, and struggling to trust again. But true healing is not just about getting back to who you were before the abuse. It's about becoming an upgraded version of yourself, one that is no longer vulnerable to the same manipulation, one that is unbreakable. The first step to healing is acknowledging the pain. Too often, people try to suppress their emotions, thinking that ignoring the hurt will make it go away. But unhealed wounds don't disappear, they fester. If you don't confront your pain, it will continue to control you. Healing begins with allowing yourself to feel the sadness, the anger, the betrayal, and the disappointment. It means validating your emotions and understanding that your pain is real and justified. But here's the key: you don't stay there. You feel it, you process it, and then you release it. Because if you hold on to the pain for too long, it turns into bitterness, and bitterness only gives the narcissist more control over your life. The next part of healing is self-reflection. This is not about blaming yourself for what happened, but about learning from the experience. Ask yourself, what vulnerabilities did the narcissist? Were there red flags I ignored? What beliefs about myself allowed me to tolerate mistreatment? This is not about shame, it's about awareness. When you understand the patterns that led you into that situation, you gain the power to break free from them permanently. Many people fall into the same toxic relationships repeatedly because they never take the time to examine why they were drawn to them in the first place. But when you reflect deeply, you gain insight that prevents history from repeating itself. Boundaries are a crucial part of healing. After experiencing narcissistic abuse, many people struggle with saying no. They fear confrontation, rejection, or being seen as unkind. But healing means recognizing that boundaries are not about being mean, they are about self-respect. It's about deciding what kind of treatment you will and will not accept. It's about understanding that protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. When you set and enforce boundaries, you send a clear message to the world. You will never tolerate mistreatment again. The stronger your boundaries, the less likely you are to be manipulated in the future. Another key to healing is rebuilding self-trust. Narcissists thrive on making their victims doubt themselves. They gaslight, manipulate, and distort reality until you question your own judgment. After experiencing this, many people struggle with making decisions because they no longer trust their instincts. Healing means reclaiming your inner voice. It means making small decisions and standing by them, even if you're unsure. It means reminding yourself that you are capable, intelligent, and worthy of trusting yourself again. The more you rely on your own judgment, the stronger your confidence becomes. Forgiveness is often misunderstood in the healing process. Many think that forgiving a narcissist means excusing their behavior or allowing them back into their lives. But real forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It's about releasing the emotional hold they have on you. It's about refusing to carry the weight of their actions any longer. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciling, it means freeing yourself. When you let go of resentment, you reclaim your energy for things that truly matter. Holding on to anger only keeps you tied to the person who hurt you. Letting go is the ultimate act of self-liberation. Healing also requires rebuilding your sense of identity. Narcissists break people down, making them feel like they are nothing without them. They strip away confidence, independence, and individuality. Part of healing is rediscovering who you are outside of their influence. It's about reconnecting with your passions, hobbies, and dreams that may have been neglected. It's about exploring new experiences, setting new goals, and embracing the parts of yourself that were once silenced. The stronger your sense of self, the harder it is for anyone to ever manipulate you again. Surrounding yourself with the right people is another essential part of the healing journey. Narcissists work by isolating their victims, making them feel alone and unsupported. Rebuilding your support system is crucial. This means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, respect you, and genuinely care about your well-being. It's about choosing quality over quantity. Having a few loyal, trustworthy people is far better than being surrounded by those who drain your energy. Healing happens faster when you are in the company of people who remind you of your worth. Self-care is not just about treating yourself, it's about rebuilding yourself. Healing requires taking care of your mind, body, and soul. It means eating nutritious foods, getting enough rest, exercising, and treating your body with kindness. It means engaging in activities that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. It means taking time for introspection, meditation, or therapy to heal the emotional wounds. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessary for recovery. When you take care of yourself, you strengthen every part of who you are. One of the most powerful aspects of healing is finding purpose in your pain. Many people who have suffered narcissistic abuse feel like their pain was meaningless, like they endured suffering for no reason. But healing happens when you take that pain and turn it into something meaningful. Maybe it's using your story to help others. Maybe it's channeling your emotions into art, writing, or speaking. Maybe it's simply living a life of joy, proving that you refuse to let that experience define you. When you turn your pain into purpose, you take the worst thing that happened to you and use it as fuel to create something better. That is true empowerment. Healing is not a straight path. Some days will be easier than others, but every small step you take toward rebuilding yourself is a victory. Every moment you choose peace over chaos, self-love over self-doubt, and growth over stagnation, you are winning. The goal is not just to recover, it's to thrive. It's to become so strong, so self-assured, and so untouchable that no narcissist can ever shake you again. It's about turning your wounds into armor, your pain into wisdom, and your past into a stepping stone for an extraordinary future. When you fully heal, you do more than just survive, you rise. You become the person they never wanted you to be. Independent, confident, and unshakable. That is the greatest revenge. That is the ultimate victory. The battle against narcissists and their parasitic influence is not won through confrontation or revenge. It is won through self-mastery. It is won by reclaiming your mind, your emotions, your independence, and your identity. The moment you stop feeding their need for control, validation, and dominance, they wither. They thrive on weakness, but you are not weak. You are strong, capable, and worthy of a life free from manipulation. True victory comes when you no longer react, when you no longer seek their approval, when their words and actions no longer dictate your emotions. It comes when you rise above their games, when you set firm boundaries, and when you become so independent mentally, emotionally, financially, and socially that they have no power left over you. They cannot control what they cannot reach. They cannot manipulate what does not need them. The ultimate revenge is not hatred, it is success. It is living a life so full of purpose, peace, and strength that they become irrelevant. Narcissists want you broken, dependent, and uncertain, but your greatest act of defiance is to thrive, to heal so deeply that their memory no longer haunts you, to grow so immensely that their absence feels like a blessing, to build a life where you are the master of your destiny, no longer shackled by their toxicity. You are not a victim. You are a warrior, a survivor, and most importantly, a creator of your own future. Choose freedom, choose strength, choose to starve the parasite and step into your true power. Because once you do, the narcissist becomes exactly what they always feared, powerless. And you become unstoppable.